The world's largest financial institution, controlling assets worth $10 trillion and with a presence in 30 countries, is Blackrock. They run a program called Aladdin, which helps manage $21.6 trillion by analyzing and tracking investors' portfolios. Despite their dominance in the industry, the vast majority of people are unfamiliar with the company and its CEO, Larry Fink. There have been various theories about BlackRock's level of control over the world. The behemoth investment firm BlackRock has sounded the alarm and issued a dire warning to all nations. As the largest fund manager on the planet, they caution everyone to brace themselves for a catastrophic recession that will be unparalleled, and the conventional central bank strategies will prove ineffective. The present circumstances paint a bleak picture as central banks are grappling with inflation, which has taken an unanticipated turn with the surge in credit costs leading to heightened uncertainty. According to BlackRock's research team, the global economy has departed from a 4-decade period of stable growth and inflation, and it cautions that central banks will not be able to provide support as the economy slows. Investors anticipate the opposite, which explains why equity valuations have yet to be impacted. The previous strategy of simply buying during dips is not effective in this new environment of increased offsetting and heightened macro volatility. We do not anticipate a return to conditions that would support a joint bull market in stocks and bonds like we saw in the previous decade, state the BlackRock analysts. The only solution to price growth, according to the study, is to go through a severe recession in a market with an aging workforce, which is a reality facing the world. The world's largest fund manager believes we are entering a new global order where geopolitical cooperation and globalization create a fragmented world with competing factions. In its 2023 Global Outlook, BlackRock's team of strategists predict a recession unlike any other. They believe that central banks, in an effort to control inflation, are causing recessions by over-tightening policy. This, in turn, is leading to a sharp downturn in growth and a recession that is not easily solved by traditional methods. In the past, during an economic downturn, the Federal Reserve would typically step in to help. However, due to the unique cause of this projected recession, BlackRock says we cannot rely on central banks to provide relief this time around. It's important to take note of BlackRock's predictions, given their dominance in the financial industry and their control over $21.6 trillion via the Aladdin program, which analyzes and tracks investors' portfolios. The company's report raises serious concerns about the state of the global economy and the possibility of a new world order emerging as a result of the 2023 economic collapse. The prediction of a recession caused by a central bank's actions to control inflation is a warning that we cannot ignore. BlackRock has noted that one of the biggest factors causing a recession is higher interest rates, which have been slowing down the economy. According to BlackRock's economic outlook, these higher interest rates are having a negative impact on the housing market, and they predict that this trend will continue in 2023. Higher interest rates, making borrowing money more expensive, leading to a decrease in spending which slows down the economy. This also affects businesses as people spend less, causing companies to make less money and potentially lay off employees or cut salaries. The readjustment of debt payments, especially in the national, corporate, and household sector, is also contributing to the negative impact of higher interest rates. As interest rates go up, expenses rise while income may not keep up, causing further strain on the economy. BlackRock recently discussed several factors that they believe will shape the New World Order in finance and economics. The first factor they talked about was high inflation. Despite economists' predictions, inflation has been consistently higher than expected, and BlackRock does not believe it will fall as quickly as economists predict. This high inflation has not yet had significant effects as people are still able to afford higher-priced goods, even if it means going into debt. However, BlackRock believes that this will change as spending ability decreases. The second factor discussed was the aging workforce. With many people retiring or not returning to work since the pandemic, the economy has been less efficient. This has created a discrepancy in the workforce as people want flexible work arrangements while employers want workers back in the office. This discrepancy has made the economy less productive. The third factor was geopolitical issues, specifically the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This event has caused a major energy crisis in Europe and has pushed some European countries into a recession. It has also exposed the dependence of countries and companies on non-domestic sources, causing a disruption in supply chains. These developments are causing major changes in the financial and economic landscape and will impact how business is done in the future. In summary, BlackRock thinks high prices are here to stay due to inflation, and a global recession will soon follow. In the aftermath of the impending recession, a new world order will rise while everyone is still unsure of what to do. People have already begun to look towards more speculative assets, such as cryptocurrencies, to increase their dwindling profits. This is where we need to be wary of what BlackRock says, as we'll never really know what takes place behind closed doors. However, they already have a strategy in place to capitalize on the rise of the New World Order and maximize their profits. We already know that BlackRock believes a recession is on the horizon, and usually what comes after a recession is a stock market crash. Despite all the bad news, BlackRock thinks things will only get worse, and they believe that stock markets across the globe will continue to crash because the global recession hasn't even really begun. They cite the contracting housing market and dwindling consumer savings as signs of this recession. When this recession begins, corporate earnings will begin to fall and investors' confidence in the stock market will falter, leading to the inevitable stock market crash, making 2023 one of the worst years for risk on assets. BlackRock knows that stocks aren't the place to be putting your savings at the moment, and they intend to capitalize during these economically turbulent times. Bonds typically are viewed as safer or more stable assets due to reliable returns and the stability of our governments. This has made bonds traditionally an important part of many people's portfolio, including BlackRock's portfolio and their recommendations. However, recently, BlackRock has begun to change their tune and are beginning to turn away from long-term bonds, which has traditionally been used to defend investors from a recession, as bonds would increase in value while stock prices fell. But in recent times, both bonds and stocks have moved in unison, and as BlackRock believes stocks will crash in price, bonds will follow suit. Because of this, BlackRock claims that a new investing strategy is needed, and the ability to adapt to ever-frequent and drastic changes throughout the world is paramount. This is contrary to the previously easy mode of investment strategy where one could simply put money into an S&P 500 index fund each month and realize profits. We have to keep in mind that BlackRock is a business and its biggest priority is to maximize their profits, oftentimes at the detriment of people like you and me. BlackRock continues to lay out details as to why investing with BlackRock is the only strategy to guarantee positive returns in the coming years. According to them, the only fix to this new investing environment is to stake your money in one of the BlackRock active funds designed to make their investors money. However, these funds also make BlackRock a lot of money as well. For every $500 invested into a BlackRock passive fund, they earn 15 cents each year. But when an investor invests the same amount of money in their active fund, they generate more than 20 times as the passive fund. Here you can see why BlackRock wants everyone to believe that the only option to make a profit is with one of BlackRock's active funds, which they control, eventually making them even more money. There's also the immense issue of BlackRock's power and influence, with many people believing that BlackRock is controlling things behind closed doors in regards to businesses and government. Any organization with so much power and influence can't be trusted not to act in its own interest at the detriment to everyone around them. Despite only being custodians of customers' assets, BlackRock went ahead and replaced 3 ExxonMobil board members with people that BlackRock preferred instead. Ironically, this happened even if BlackRock owns literally no shares of ExxonMobil. They simply hold on to the shares for their customers. Despite being a custodian for their customers, BlackRock uses their customers' shares to influence corporate decisions. To top it all off, BlackRock continues to push their ESG investment strategy, allowing them to arbitrarily decide which companies are safe for society, the environment, and which companies follow a good governance basis. Companies like ExxonMobil, which they replaced several board members for, and the now bankrupt crypto platform FTX top the list. If other companies don't make BlackRock's list, they are barred from trillions of possible investments. Despite all their shady business, BlackRock is most likely correct about their view of the global economy. It's proven that things like a shrinking workforce, supply chain strains, and high inflation are all putting a damper on the global economy. Although they may be right about the future of the economy, they simply can't be trusted with your hard-earned money, and they aren't the only means to positive returns on your investments, especially when they claim to know the secrets of the New World Order. That's it for us today. Thank you for watching to the end of our video. If this video brought value to you today, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our future content. And don't forget to check out our channel for more videos.